Hey y'all, it's me, Christelle. I kind of wanted to get or to give you guys an idea of what my thoughts were about the meeting yesterday with Catholic Charities. First and foremost, I would like to say I think they're doing a really great job. I think that the work they do is God's work, and the way that they're able to change these children's lives is amazing. Um, we also found out that Catholic Charities isn't a recipient of these foster kids that were separated from their families. Um, from what we were told, it sounds like when the kids are separated, allegedly it's only like a 20-day separation. I'm not sure that that's correct, but when that happens, it takes maybe about 2 years for any of those kids to reach Catholic Charities for their programs. So that means even if Catholic Charities were involved with these children, it wouldn't be for a couple of years. And and yeah, in the meantime, kind of my feeling is, where are these babies? It's just really, really disturbing. With Catholic Charities, the program they were talking about yesterday was one that unaccompanied minors or kids in refugee camps would go through their fostering system. And it sounds like, they follow the kids very closely. They make sure that everybody's a good match and are there every step of the way for these children. So I think that's really important. And these children are refugees. So maybe, adoption of these, not adoption, fostering of these children who are seeking amnesty over here. Oh, sorry, asylum over here. Like maybe that's one way to address this issue. That way the kids don't have to go through that, all of that travel that they have to go through just to get to the United States before they're separated from their families or whatever else. So I'm really glad that Catholic Charities came to talk to us, but it sounds like these kids are not going through Catholic Charities. The kids that were separated at the border from their families. My understanding and what I've heard from people is that the children are being sent to New York. I'm not sure why those children are being sent to New York. I would like to know more about the process. The person that we spoke with from Catholic Charities, she knows a lot about her program, but as far as like the immigration process, she was able to give us some details, but not a whole lot. And I think that our neighborhood asked some really great questions to kind of clarify. And I think right now, what I'm going to do in my spare time is I'm going to go ahead and put together the list of organizations that Catholic Charities said are kind of in control of, which students are or which kids are separated and like where they go after that. One of them is the Department of Homeland Security. As far as Catholic Charities goes, it sounds like the Catholic College of Cardinals would be able to kind of let us know, whether they would be able to take some of these children on. I'm not sure why these kids are being sent to New York again. I feel very badly because from what I'm hearing from some people, not Catholic Charities, but from people, is that it doesn't sound like there's any kind of plan to put them back with their families and reunite them. So I guess those are my comments. I'm thinking a lot about this process and how we can make sure that those kids that were separated from their families are okay. And I do think that organizations such as Catholic Charities and other nonprofit organizations, they do need to step up for these kids right now. I know in El Paso, there are a lot of organizations that are doing that. And I really appreciate it. So I wonder if it's possible to ask the Catholic Church or Catholic Charities, which is separate from the Catholic Church, to go ahead and keep these kids here, maybe like have them be part of their fostering process. I'm not sure that would make things any better though, to keep the kids in Texas versus sending them to New York. I mean, the bottom line for all of this is that these children are traumatized. these children, every day that they're sitting there in one of these kennels, sleeping on the floor, they're dehumanized. I can't imagine what that would feel like, and I'm a grown-ass person, let alone for a small child to go through that. So yeah, I'm really concerned. I'm extra concerned. I'm happy about the Catholic Charities fostering program for refugee children. And I think, like I said, it's a good option for people who are kind of wanting to think a few steps ahead and say, well, okay, so that these kids don't have to travel and go through that perilous journey, then maybe they could just go through Catholic Charities and, be fostered out over here. So yeah, so those are our options right now. I think I really love what a lot of my colleagues are doing. Organizers and activists are stopping the bus when they see that there are a bunch of these little children on the bus. So I really appreciate the work that they're doing, and I think it's very, very important. And until then, what happens to these kids, I don't know. I want them out of the kennels, first of all, and I don't want them on military bases, because at that point, when they're on military bases, nobody's got access ever to these kids. Nobody knows what's happening to these kids. So yeah, so those are my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think. Yeah, so thank you, Northside, for showing up and for caring about the kids, and let me know what questions you have. Thank you.